All right, we're back. Technical difficulties, but let's see. Let's keep talking about this. You were just talking about Covington and the kind of player he was. I was in the middle of my response and my stuff went out, but I was saying when I first heard the rumor just for Nerlens for Jeff straight up and due to contract issues, I thought it was a joke and I thought it was too good to be true because I didn't think we would be able to get that for Jeff, especially coming on in an expiring contract as an unrestricted free agent. Um, and then to throw in Covington with that, especially because, Bazemore's a free agent and you've seen the kind of success that the Hawks training staff, coaching staff has had with a player like Bazemore, had with a player like DeMario Carroll. I'm all for it. I hit that trade button immediately if that's a possibility.
I mean, for sure. I mean, like that. I'm not sure what Philly's thinking, and I mean, it's all rumors and hearsay right now. But
Yeah.
it's been reported by a respectable outlet, so let's see. I mean, I guess my next question to you, because like that sounds like a fantastic deal for Atlanta. You get a young shot blocking defender, and if you get a wing to go with that, it's a wrap. But does that make it feel? Does that somewhat mitigate the feelings you would feel seeing Al Horford go to Boston? Because that's where he's going.
Oh God, if there is a God in this world, no, no, I'm kidding. I think it would help knowing that we would have a building around of two young players from, hey, I believe the same draft of Dennis and Noel. That would help, but at the same time, I wonder if it's not necessarily kind of the writing on the wall for Horford, but more as kind of like the backup Tiago Splitter, who was out for half the season. I don't know. It would definitely help with the blow, and especially if he went to Boston, man.
Do you think he's leaving?
I don't know. I'd like to believe he would stay. I really don't know. He has a good history in Atlanta, coaching staff. He's been here his whole life. His family's here. Everything that you would say as a person, but I mean, I feel Atlanta would be prepared to give him some sort of pay, like I don't know, a max contract, but something to have him stay. Plus, my personal feelings is they need to keep him just because he's a good player, and two, in worst case scenario, he can always be used as an asset to someone that would want him. But I talked about with this with Bo. Hey, yeah, I'm plugging my past podcast, Bo Cherney. Go listen to it, guys out there.
My man, Bo.
Yeah,
he's one of my favorite guests, man. I had him come on the Instant Office before. He's a real good guy.
Really? What podcast is this? Plug it for me real quick. Which one?
Oh man, I'm a part timer. I do. It's called the Instant Office podcast over there at B-Ball Breakdown. But nothing as quality as you guys. But yeah, I get people to come on. I had Bo came on. I had Kenny Anderson on. I had I had a couple other ex-players on. It's pretty cool.
I got to add that to my list.
I had Ethan Sherwood-Strauss came on. Ethan
Sherwood-Strauss.
I had Royce Young come through, talk some Thunder. I did my thing a little bit.
Hey, you know what? Instant offense. I'm about to add this to my queue. Everybody, add this. Kenny Anderson, Bo, who was a guest on this show. Everybody. Oh man, that's cool. But anyway, we felt that we believe the Hawks are going to want to keep him just because you have him, you have Millsap, I believe, who has a player option not this upcoming offseason, year after next. So you never know how that's going to go. And worst case scenario, again, we thought Horford could be used as an asset to someone that would actually feel like if they had an Al Horford on their team, we could use him. But that's just my quick thought. I was going to get into it more later. Hopefully Garrett can join me on the pod later on. But what were your thoughts on this?
So that would be a slam dunk deal for Atlanta. I'm not sure why Philly would want to do that. I know Teague. I mean, he's what, 28? He's not old. player.
27. He's
7 going to 28 this year, I think. Right.
Yeah.
Well, my point is like where the team is versus what Jeff Teague is right now. I mean, it's not. Of course, it's not a bad fit. I think it's giving up too much for him. As far as Al Horford in Atlanta, I don't know why. It is probably just me building mountains out of molehills in my own head. He played very professionally this year, and he's a great player. I love him. It seemed to be a little passion missing from his game. It's almost very business-like.
Ooh.
And listen to his comments. He says stuff like, "Yeah, I'm showing that I can." Basically, I'm paraphrasing here, but I remember he was talking about his 3-point shooting. He's like, "Yeah, this is I'm showing the league I can do this." It's almost like he was putting things on display, in preparation for this offseason. I like him in Atlanta. I want him to stay. But my issue is just that, Atlanta, it's as nice of a team as they are and a good story as they are, they're just no match for Cleveland. It is what it is. Right now, they're in a different league.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't, it's one thing to have a nice team and nice regular season, but sooner or later, right, if I'm Atlanta fan base, I'm open to looking at different directions for us to get better. So it's a tough situation, man. It's almost like the West with Golden State, where every team is looking up at them, trying to find a way to reach that level. That's how Cleveland is in the East. Every team, no matter what you do right now, it seems like they got that. They got the equalizer. They got LeBron James, so it makes it really tough.
You're right. Yeah, you're right on that. Boy, hard to admit, but yeah, you're right. The thing with Atlanta,
I guess my thing is like this offseason interesting. I wouldn't mind, and this is as an NBA fan in general, I wouldn't mind seeing another power shift move where 2 superstars say, "Hey, let's go to this team and make this happen," because we need to shift the power structure somehow. So, will it happen? Probably not. That doesn't happen very often. But I wouldn't be upset if I saw, Durant and Horford talk together and say, "Hey, let's go to Boston, or let's go to." No, seriously, or even better, I talked to the guys at Blazers Edge. Hey, let's team up and let's go to Portland and meet with Dame and team up with Dame. You know what I'm saying? That'd be amazing. I wouldn't be upset to see that. So
that would be interesting. Oh boy, yeah. You're right on that. Thing with Atlanta is I feel well they'll need more, but their issue to me is more at the small forward position and what's going to happen there. Now, I don't know. We will see what happens. I wish for him to stay just for the interest of being a homer and everything. But hey, we'll see what happens in a month or so whenever free agency starts.
But hey, my question to you is, what kind of cap space does Atlanta have right now? Because you got a great power forward. You have a great center in Horford. You got 2 young point guards who are, as a duo, probably up there with the best point guard rotation in the league. Why wouldn't Kevin Durant want to come join Atlanta?
I don't know, man. Kevin, why won't you come to Atlanta? Nah. Someone actually wrote a great cap article for Atlanta on PeachtreeHoops.com. I believe it was I forgot, it's blanking on the name. But I want to say, again, I'm no cap expert. I want to say they would have enough room to give Horford the max and with the predicted outcome. However, is that something you want to do, judging with what's on the rest of the roster? And, given the last time the Hawks gave max money to a player, it didn't really turn out all that great. So, not sure. That's where, why I don't have a job in the front office, and that's where they're going to be, dealing with the contracts and hopefully also at the same time not trying to lowball Horford on trying to stay, because you know how that looks. with a job.
Yeah, it's tough, man.
Yeah,
it's tough because you're trying to stockpile talent and put together a good team, but like you can't really just with Millsap making so much, and it's hard just to, especially this new kind of max contract coming up. So
yeah, I believe somebody said an offer they would make is 5 years, 100 million at the most, probably for Horford next year, and I'm not sure what the cap is going to look like next year. Boy, again, I'm no expert on this, but I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. And then also, something has to happen with the point guards because both Jeff and both Dennis are going to be free agents. Well, one's going to be a restricted free agent, but both are going to be free agents at the end of next season. And you'll go in having, the point guard advantage where you can have two guys just, go and run the offense, run the break, just be going at full speed the whole game to, hey, we will only have one point guard. So that's another issue that's going to come up. The team is, oh boy, they're in for it. they're in for it. I don't know. Watch Durant go to the Heat just because that's what happens with Pat Riley getting these free agents.
I'm going to give you a prediction, and it's you've heard it before already. I think he doesn't want to go to the Heat because he doesn't want to go follow LeBron's footsteps and take his seconds. He doesn't want to go to Lakers because it's too soon after Kobe retired. He don't want to have to follow that legacy. He doesn't want to go and be a front runner to go to Golden State. He's going to stay in OKC, man. He's going to stay and get that 1+1 and then really cash out next year. Or honestly, he seems to be the kind of guy he might just take the full max right now and say, look, I don't next year I can make more millions, cool, but I'm not trying to break I want to be able to build a good team. So who knows?
That would be the that would be the smart thing, because I was hearing like if he does the 1+1 opts out, I'm hearing he will make a lot of money in OKC that way.
Oh,
and you can't turn that down. Though as awesome as it would be for him to come play for my home team or see the power shift, really, like you say, nah, he's not going to turn that down. Okay, so you talked about the trade, which is something the trade offer, which is what I was going to get into later. But last thing I wanted to really talk to you with is something you kind of started, and I'm starting to see the internet kind of go in this direction. You spoke last time about the Warriors being kind of like, why does everyone love the team so much when they do stuff that, like traditional kind of like, I guess you'd say, villain teams do. You mentioned to me that, they have their antics of like, dancing on the sideline, running up the score at times. Like, you don't have to take that 3-pointer when you're up 20 at the end of the game. And I see the internet has kind of like caught on to this, and I'm starting to see people actually mention this, but how does it feel to be, kind of like holding the flag and holding the torch on starting this up, man?
I started this like towards the beginning of the season when they were in that, they were just dominating teams, and they were being bullies. They had their foot on teams' necks. They were, they were kind of embarrassing teams. I remember after that the Utah win that they barely pulled out, but then somebody on Twitter was reporting that they were like giggling in the locker room because the fans of the Jazz were like, oh, we played a championship type effort, and Dre and them were kind of talking down on them. So yeah, hey, this is the thing, when you're on top, if people don't like you, they have to beat you. If you can't beat them, then you can do anything you want to. And I've been watching this for a while with them. It's just funny that it's just now becoming a thing to other people, because I always compare Steph to Eddie Haskell, I'm showing real age here. He was a guy on the show called Leave It to Beaver, where he talked to his friends' parents, all smiles, and yes, Mrs. Beaver, no, Mrs. Beaver. It's a great kid, but when they're just the kids, he was a little jerk. And that's kind of what Steph reminds me of, with it's smiling right to the cameras, but he's kind of that arrogance. People don't like it. Knock the smile off his face by beating the team, and no one can do it yet. So I like it. I like it though. I think the league needs a villain, even if it's the best team in the league. I want the heel turn to come. I want them to fully embrace it. I want Steph to taunt and turn his back on his own shot as much as he wants. I want Draymond to yap. I like it. It makes for a better NBA.
Yeah, you're right about that. Something that got me was I think the people started to realize that after the second nut kick that was delivered to Steven Adams by Draymond, and I don't know, it just kind of gets to me, not gets to me, but makes me kind of question of how you hear this with Delhi the last game hitting Iguodala, and I'm just kind of like, didn't you guys do this in the last round a couple times? I mean, it just seems to me a team that would get upset about that. I don't know.
Another thing I noticed about Golden State is that they'll hoop and holler when they're winning, but if other team beats them, I remember I think when Milwaukee beat them, like they were kind of salty about, oh, look at them, they're celebrating. We won't forget this. I mean, what are you doing right now? You're the top of the mountain, and a sub 500 team beat you. Of course, they're happy. It's funny how prickly they get and how prickly their fans get in a way about anything that's not just outright praise.
Man,
so
you have no idea. Going into work every single day in the office talking. I mentioned one thing about the Warriors, but yeah, you're right.
I want to make sure everybody who listens here, they're a great team. They earned every accolade they've gotten so far, and I don't begrudge them one single brag or whatever they do. That's fine. If people don't like it, then make them stop, beat them. So it's just funny to watch.
It kind of reminds me of watching the Patriots those years ago when they were on that undefeated season going into the Super Bowl. The fact that kind of the corresponding things that go along with it, but it's kind of opposite. Just because, like, I guess people that watch the Warriors, they look like, I look at Draymond play, and he is an incredibly physical player, and I don't think people realize that until they recently just started watching the playoffs. But it just kind of reminds me of the parallels with them, the two teams. But it's just like one of them was pretty much just gone down for everybody hates them, whereas like the other team's just kind of like, you know what, this is a fun team to watch.
Yeah, that sums it up, man. If you're a fan of the team, you love them. If you're not a fan of the team, you're probably gonna end up hating them because they're gonna do something bad to your team.
So let me ask you one of my last questions here with Steph. What if, because I'm hearing everyone compare, LeBron to Steph, saying, hey, LeBron will get 2 rings, has 2 rings, just like Steph will have 2. If the Warriors win, Steph will have 2. Do you think it's too early to be, saying this about Steph Curry about all this?
Steph Curry Neal. Yeah, it's too early, man. It's like I get what they're saying. And as a snapshot, right now he's right there with some of the best we've ever seen. I just want to see his resume grow a little bit more. Yeah, he's been really good for he's been great for 2 years now. He's been really good for probably 4 or 5. So it's not like he's just a flash in the pan. And he's really revolutionizing the point guard position and what we know of as a dangerous perimeter player with his shooting. So it's complex. It's very fair to put him in the same name, the same stratosphere as LeBron James and other elites, and it's almost a known that he's like the best player in the league right now. It's almost a consensus, but it's just such a different way that we're still not quite used to analyzing a player like him.
Do you think that his per se, and watch this happens, Sean Livingston continues to have these amazing games? Yeah, I don't know how sustainable it is. But do you think it would be on a knock if, for the second year in a row, somebody else wins Finals MVP instead of Steph?
Oh, yeah. We got a long way to go. Steph's going to have a breakout game or two, and like I said, everything they do is predicated on his spacing. So he's going to have a breakout game or two. Livingston's gonna regress back to the mean, which is still really good. He can hit his wide open jump shots. If people they keep guarding him with small guys, he's gonna kill him. But I could see Clay, having a breakout and kind of the way Clay actually carried them a lot against OKC. So if he has that kind of performance against Cleveland, then that would be kind of weird for the two-time MVP to never win Finals MVP for 2 championships. So I'm actually, now you got me hoping for that. I like to see chaos.
Clay was phenomenal against the Thunder, especially those games, game 6 and 7. He would just not miss, and he carried them. Like, if it weren't for Clay, I think Thunder would be in the finals.
Oh, hands down. Clay doesn't. They need every one of those threes from Clay. Yeah.
Wow. You know what? I'm kind of rooting for the chaos now. Now that you made me think about it, I'm kind of like, you know what? That would be great. kind of just funny to see. But anyway, that's it for talking to you, James. James, get us the state of the Celtics. Who are they going to draft? What's up with them this offseason? Everything else.
I'm hoping they pick up Dragon Bender and with the 3 pick. In my ideal draft, we'd also find a way to get Marquise Chris and maybe Denzel Valentine, but those guys won't be available in those spots that we're picking. But I just no more guards. I don't want Ainge picking any more point guards. As much as I think Chris Dunn is going to be an impact player, I love a lot of guards in this draft. My man DeAndre Bembry. There's a nice guard. Just no more draft, Ainge. So the big goal is to make a move this summer and bring in somebody like a Jimmy Butler or Boogie Cousins. That's the Ainge's goal. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think those guys are worth too much to their teams. So especially with the salary cap exploding at their price, it's not going to be a good idea for their team to trade them. So I just want us to get Dragon Bender in there and get rid of Sully, and I'm happy.
Man, speaking to you last time, you really pointed out a lot of things to me I never noticed with the Celtics. Sully, the whole lack of free agents not voluntarily really coming in. That just kind of played with me, and I was like, wow, I never noticed that. So I appreciate these times that you give us these random tidbits right here.
I'm here to help. I'm probably the world's worst Celtics fan, so I'm always here to help.
Okay, so last question. Dead serious. This is my last question. A lot of the people on the podcast, listeners, myself, went to Georgia State. What's up with RJ Hunter? In nicest terms.
So it's funny, right before the draft, I tweeted something like, if the Celtics draft RJ Hunter, I'm going to stop being a fan or something. And he actually went and searched his name and responded to me like, wow, really? And like shook his head at me or something. And I mean, it is what it is. Look, man, I don't know what. Maybe because Ainge himself was kind of an undersized, scrappy shooter. I don't know what his thing is with these guards, but it just shows you how different the college game is than the pro game. I mean, it's when people like today I was talking about Skal Labissiere. I believe that's how it's pronounced, from Kentucky. And I think he's going to be a good pro. And someone, in college he didn't get played, and he got, coach sat him down in Kentucky and all this and that. It doesn't matter. It's a whole different ball game. College is a whole different ball game, and we see it yearly that there's guys who they tear it up in college and they come to pros and they can't do anything. And that's just where RJ Hunter is. I didn't like the pick originally, and I mean, hey, maybe he can change it. He can turn into a spot up utility player, for specific moments. Maybe, I don't know.
It's kind of really surprising you say that, because he did the exact same thing to me. I said, I love RJ Hunter. I went to the same school as him. Love, watching him in the tourney for Georgia State to actually win a game in the tourney. Love everything. However, Hawks, please do not take him. And I said something like that basically on Twitter, and I got a response like, really, bro?
That's exactly what he said to me. Like, really,
bro. And
hey, man, I respect that he believes in himself. I respect that. And he's only a second-year player. Maybe he'll turn around next year and be a contributing part of that team. But I mean, as of right now, Ainge and his damn late picks. It's been R.J. Hunter and James Young. It's like, what are you guys here for? So,
man. Well, thank you, James, for coming on and talking with me. Thank you for talking about the finals. Everybody, we really appreciate James for coming on. And remember, Instant Offense. Is it Instant Offense Pod or what's it called?
Yeah, it's the Instant Offense Pod. Similar to my writing, I'm pretty lazy and it's pretty inconsistent. I need to start. Hopefully this summer I can get one going like at least once a week.
Yeah, man. You start it up, it becomes pretty addictive, and you realize you just talk about anything. And I'm shocked I still have listeners on here. So I thank each and every one of you listeners coming on here and listening to us talk. But James, thank you. Thank you for coming on, man. Any last words?
I appreciate you having me, brother. Yeah, appreciate you having me, man. You guys check me out on B-Ball Breakdown and hop on Twitter. Let's talk some basketball, man. Basketball never sleeps. You can find me at Snotty Dripping. Let's have fun.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Later.